Hi Capricorn, welcome to your end of May 2018 general tarot reading. It's Rena. I just hear some kids yelling out there all of a sudden as soon as I start recording, so I don't know what's going on. This is the Wild, what is it called? The Wild Unknown Tarot deck. I've used it before, but I'm just kind of bringing it out again for this reading just to do things a bit differently. Okay. I picked out two, so I'm putting one here and one here. It's your card, Capricorn. A double card and, oh, interesting. Very interesting. Okay. I got the card representing you. These are major arcana cards. The Devil, and then I got the Chariot, which represents your opposite sign, Cancer. So that polarity that we see at the end of June, maybe that's timing issues, who knows? But that's at the end of the reading, so we'll get to that later. But in any case, the heart of the matter is the Mother of Pentacles. This is connected to the Queen of Pentacles. And it's interesting in this deck, you know, when I first was looking at some of the cards, I noticed that they used son and daughter versus a mother and father, you know. And I thought that was a little quirky, but now it makes sense because the Queen does have the correspondence with that. And, of course, you are Pentacles, being of the earth element. And so this could be a situation where some of you are women, or maybe, I guess it could be even a man, if we look at being a mother as somebody who's nurturing. If you're staying home with your child, instead of having a job outside of the home, and that's what you're either contemplating or you've just started doing, you want to do it perhaps. The Queen of Pentacles is a card that is associated with really a love for the earth, gardening, anything that involves, you know, nurturing, like nurturing plants and mothering plants, and being this, you know, Susie Homemaker. Could call it the Susie Homemaker card. But there's like a sense of the home as a refuge that you are in charge of for other people, perhaps. It could just be like an older earth sign woman, and if that's you, then that's great that you're focusing on yourself and you know, honoring yourself and what you're all about. The card that crossed you is the Father of Wands. So here we have the mother and the father. So if it's a situation, because I did get the Emperor right below that, and the Emperor connects to Aries, and Capricorn and Aries people hook up probably because you're both cardinal signs, and maybe even though that's like a square that forms, maybe there's still that sense of magnetism that draws the two of you together, despite your differences. And so Aries is a fire sign. I always associate the Emperor with Capricorn, by the way, but it is in that it is supposed to be Aries. And it could be a situation where either you don't want to be at home, or this person wants you to be at home. with the Father of Wands, by the way, is the King of Wands. And it could be this, it's a very masculine energy. So even if the person is not a fire sign, you know, fire sign men would typically not be the kind to say you have to stay at home or you have to work. Because some men say, hey, if I have to work, you have to work. You don't get to sit home and not work. You know, like in other words, they think it's easy and that you would be having one up on them by being at home. Obviously, there are some traditional partners who want you to be at home. And you know, Capricorn is a traditional sign. So even though you are the ruler of the house of career, you still may have that value of believing that you should be raising your children yourself. And the other thing, too, is that it could simply be that this person is preventing you from realizing your dream in another way. Perhaps you can't even have a child with this person because they're not there. They're not committed to you the way you need them to be, or you don't trust them. You think that they won't stick around. And so I do think that there might be something along those lines, unless you're having issues with some kind of in-laws, clash with them of some sort. That's the only thing that I can think. And the Emperor is actually the foundation card for the reading, so it kind of can tell us like what the origin of this situation is. So the Emperor is a person who might have a very rigid mindset of like, this is how life is, and there's no room for nuances. And because of this person may be a hard person to reason with, because they may have like deeply ingrained notions of what is okay and what is not okay, and you can't talk them out of it, even if you tried. And likewise, this could be a situation where this person is in the military, so they're not around, and you don't feel comfortable bringing a child into this world unless unless you're pregnant by somebody else, and you're kind of like nervous about when they come home because you don't know how to explain this sudden pregnancy. It can be too, like if you're in the workplace and you need, let's say you need to have a more flexible schedule because you have a child or something like that. This person is a very dynamic person, but they may be kind of a bully, and maybe they're a bit of a narcissist, and they can only see in terms of, you know, their own needs getting met in terms of the business. And if you come and you say that you need to take off time for your child, they might not be sympathetic to it because they're just thinking in terms of their own needs getting met, the profit of the business, instead of thinking of the people in the that are working for this person. So the spiritual message is the Six of Cups. Now, it's interesting because I have mentioned in prior videos that this deck, one thing that is a little bit quirky about this deck is that some of the illustrations seem to be random to me. However, knowing what I know about the Six of Cups and seeing this illustration, it's brilliant because you see all those roots. The Six of Cups is about the past. So it's all the roots that you are tied to emotionally, because we're talking about cups here. So this is a card that can deal with the past, childhood, and also, you know, in talking about the past, it could even be like a soulmate situation. And, but children, this card is about children. So this is kind of what I've been talking about. I'm not seeing this in a romantic way. I'm seeing this in terms of something to do with children and parents, because we have mother and father. We have, you know, the idea of, even in the workplace, are parents honored in terms of getting their needs met. And so with the Six of Cups, it may be saying in the spiritual position, what is in the best interest of the child? In all of the situations that I presented, if you work for somebody who is, you know, trying to get you to work and not giving you time off because they can't see your point of view, they don't value, maybe they don't have children, so they can't value what you're facing. Do you want to work for that person? What is more? Who has more need for your attention, this business or your child? Maybe you're contemplating, should I become a stay-at-home parent? And other things are kind of like presenting themselves that seem like hurdles. But again, you know, what is most important for the child? Yes, these other people have their own opinions, and they have their own agenda, but what is most important for the child? What would it benefit the child the most? Which decision did I make? Now, as for mundane advice, we have the Son of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Pentacles. This is a card of working very diligently. Now, perhaps if somebody, let's say one of you is pregnant, and you're thinking about becoming a stay-at-home parent, well, it'd have to be a mother, obviously, if you're pregnant, a stay-at-home mother in the future. However, you're not sure money-wise how you're going to swing it. Well, this would be saying, until you're in that position of giving birth, save as much money as you can, work as hard as you can, until you get to that place, so that you have the money to take care of those issues when they arise. And that's what that would be kind of suggesting. Or the partner doing so. What is coming in is represented by the Devil card. And this is connected to your sign. It can be a time of having to see how you are limited by your desires, by your obsessions, and this could involve anything to do with putting money before something else. Because the pentacles are like gold coins, so they can, you know, literally represent a monetary system. But in addition, if there's any kind of, maybe this is even like a workplace thing where you are with, you're having an affair with your boss. I mean, I guess it could be something along those lines. The King of Wands can be like a boss figure. And so you have to see whether this is just unbridled lust that is threatening perhaps your family life, if you're having an affair, and, you know, who are you most interested in? Is it this affair, or is it your children's well-being? You know, who should you be the most concerned with right now? The outcome is the Chariot, and this is about victory. This is about a sense of oh, wow, this person's got the Pentacles too. I got to find out why they put that there. I mean, you know, I said at the beginning that these two cards, the Devil and the Chariot, represent the Capricorn and Cancer. But I don't know why the artist puts a pentacle for the card that is related to the water sign of Cancer. Why is there pentacles around the neck? Now, this is a card of victory, of, achieving your goals that you've set out to achieve. So it could be, putting a positive spin on the outcome of whatever it is that you're dealing with, Capricorn. And but what I had noted is that there is this full moon. Now, this is actually happening at the end of June, so I don't know if this is a timing issue, a month in advance. That's happening a month from now, but there's going to be a full moon in your sign on the 28th of June. So that will be a time when there's a full moon. There's a opposition between the sun and the moon. So the moon is in Capricorn, and therefore the sun is in Cancer at the same degree. So as a result of that, that could be a time, because it's interesting, in the universal chart, Cancer and Capricorn form an opposition between the 4th and 10th houses. And that has to do with home life, family life, and career. And that kind of like push-pull. Which one takes precedence? Which one is getting ignored or given short shrift? And so those kinds of issues are going to be present anyway at that full moon for everyone to deal with. Those kinds of issues of home responsibilities and career objectives. And, also this idea of, with the 10th house, there's that sense of being, seen for your efforts. A lot of times people who are stay-at-home parents complain that they're not given the kind of recognition that their partner is when they have their job, where other people say, wow, you did a great job. Like that they're not getting any kind of kudos from others based upon doing well as a parent. And, my feeling is that we shouldn't really need to have people pat us on the back. I think it's nice, but it shouldn't be the goal. And, I don't think that you need validation from others in order to do what you do. And if you're always seeking that out, then it seems like your actions that you're taking with your work are kind of, conditional, and they're based on needing approval, not on actually, loving what you do or wanting to serve. So just, a few thoughts on that. But I thought that was very interesting because I think it's something that this reading is really speaking about. And I know that this may not apply to every Capricorn person watching this, so I fully admit that. You don't have to write to me and tell me that this is totally out of left field for you. But at least I hope some people found it relevant to what's happening for them. And if you'd like a private reading, and most of my private readings are astrology based, using your natal chart, which is unique to you in your time of birth, rather than this kind of an open-ended thing, please click on the link below. And otherwise, I wish you all the best as we go into June. Take care. Bye.